It's on!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Disney Parks Talk Live. I'm Rebecca Mosley, the co-founder of Laughing Place, and with me is our wonderful Disney Parks Talk Live team. I feel like it's been a while since we've all been together. So I'm going to introduce that one over there. That's my husband.
Other way.
Oh, that way?
Now I believe, yeah.
Okay. And then down there is Jeremiah. How you doing, Jeremiah?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well. And we've got Mike Celestino, our West Coast correspondent, as well here with us. Let's see. It's our last show of the year. So we're going to be chatting about kind of some of our favorite moments or some of the things that have happened over the past year. But first, we've got to talk to Jeremiah because he has just returned from Shanghai Disneyland because they opened Zootopia. How was the trip, Jeremiah? How was the adventure?
I was like, let's not talk about the trip. The destination was definitely better than the trip for this one. It was amazing. I've been lucky enough to visit Shanghai Disneyland for its opening in 2016. So this was just an extra special trip. And Zootopia as a themed land, because it is not Zootopia land, it is not Zootopia themed land, it is just Zootopia. Language barriers are strange, as Doobie has experienced before with the Zootopia themed land and everything. This area of the park is brand new. It is only going to be in Shanghai for the foreseeable future. I had a chance to speak with Josh tomorrow, and when I was talking to him, while he never said that would never go anyplace else, he definitely did not imply that it was going anyplace else anytime soon. The land, I've said it many times, it's much like Toontown for the 21st century. It's, Zootopia is such a rich story. There's so many areas, nooks and crannies of this land, or this themed area, that I spent so much time exploring it. Sadly, because it was the opening day, I had a few hours prior to opening day to explore empty, which these photos are from. Opening day, I had a little bit of time. And then the day after opening day, it was about an hour and a half to get into just the land.
Wow.
Because, yeah, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, everybody was like, oh, it's going to be forever. That is, I would say Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is about 3 times the size of this land.
Okay.
And at least that had a major attraction when it opened and lots of shops. Zootopia has 1.5 shops. There's one full shop that you can go into, and then the half shop, which is still kind of connected to the main shop. Mm-hmm. There's Frou Frou's Fashions, which is the little rat from the movie with the great hair that may not look like somebody from the Jersey Shore. And then there's an exit shop for Zootopia Hot Pursuit, and they both lead into each other, but you can only go into Frou Frou's. You can't go into the exit store because it's part of the attraction. By the park opened at 9:30, I would say by 10:30 there was already a 3-hour queue just to get into the shop. And Shanghai Disneyland did what every Disney park should ever do for opening day. Hey, we don't sell just the merchandise in the one land for everything you want. Surprisingly, though, there was no opening day merchandise.
Okay.
They had some unique merchandise that was for the land, but it wasn't anything that said opening day. I was lucky enough to be able to do things that I never do. I collected the popcorn bucket, which is the Hops family farm. And this comes, of course, with the amazing corn-flavored popcorn, which I believe we have a video of me trying somewhere. And in Shanghai and in China, sweet corn is it's their candy. They don't have a lot of really sweet things. So if you've ever had buttered corn, that's almost exactly what the flavored popcorn or corn flavored popcorn tastes like. It was very good. I'm very famous for not liking popcorn at all. I ate almost a whole serving of it mostly because I was starving, but it was still good. This
I
one,
And before we came on air, Jeremiah, we you and I, we kind of exchanged a couple of texts, and you sent me some pictures. What maybe should we jump in and talk a little bit about something with the attraction or anything like that? And I'll kind of try and follow you with some images.
I know I just sent you like just a dozen images of random things. The attraction Zootopia Hot Pursuit it's the latest in the trackless attractions. It follows the story of what happens after the film. So I forgot her name again. Hang on, let me look it up. I want to say Butterworth, but it's not Butterworth.
Judy Hopkins.
No, the person who became the mayor after.
Well, while Jeremiah pulls that up, I'm going to say hi to Charles and hi to Steven and hi to Nathaniel, because we are live. So you can jump in the chat. We'll put your comment up. If you have a question, we'll do our best to answer it. As you may notice, Jeremiah is not 100%. We appreciate him popping by in the midst of recovery to share with us.
Jeremiah,
Yes,
you sound awful. Just terrible, man.
Thank you.
You look bad too, by the way.
I fully accept all of that. I mean, I will definitely say that I do not have COVID. I was at the point yesterday where I was so sick that I did have to take a test.
Wow.
But yeah. So we are going in to celebrate Zootopia Day. That is what the entire land is for. It's celebrating the world that they live in, where it is a melting pot of all the mammals and how amazing everything is. And when you go into the attraction, it takes place, it's a follow-up to the film. Bellwether, the sheep, has been in prison. She breaks out, and what you're doing is you are becoming a volunteer or assistant Zootopia PD. And you go in, first you see Clawhauser, which we've seen the videos out. I have the full ride through. It is a cool animatronic. Sadly, it only speaks Chinese. I guess it's only sadly for the few of us that will go over to Shanghai. But you go through the queue, and in the queue, you're going through the actual Zootopia Police Department. That includes a prison. There is Bellwether's. There's the lineup that's one of my favorite photo spots. There's Bellwether's cell, and she is broken loose, and you can see on her bed there is a Gazelle poster. That is the big thing with Zootopia Day, is Gazelle's performing. So she has made her way out through that hole. When you go to the other side of it, and the queue wraps around this entire structure, you hear her and the two other rams crawling through the air ducts above you. So it's a full story. It's not just, ooh, here's something visual to look at. You go down, you walk into the briefing room where Bogo, the giant water bison, is there, and he is massive and very fluid. All of the animatronics are electric, so they have more fluid movements than the old school ones. So these are AA 3 trillions. I don't know what number they're at now, but they're all very impressive. You get the briefing of you're tagging along with Nick and Judy to try to go capture Bellwether and the other goats, rams. You go out, you hop in the first trackless attraction in mainland China. I only say it because they said it to me probably 8 times. It was something that they said over and over again, which was like, that's very cool. It is bigger than Remy's Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway, kind of on the level of Rise of the Resistance, but this one has, you go through the different areas of Zootopia. So you go to Tundra Town, Sahara Square. You're in the town square of Zootopia that you see right outside the door. So it takes place in everything you're seeing. It's a great attraction. And then, of course, it wraps up with the concert with, this is the most fluid audio animatronic I've ever seen. This puts the shaman to shame because the shaman just has this and the face. Like, Giselle's hips don't lie. She's rocking out as she's going.
I know you are an Easter egg fan, and so I suspect a few of these images that you're sharing of the Zootopia area feature Easter eggs. So I'm gonna let you, kind of
actually go back one, because I was lucky enough to get a tour of the lead designer of Zootopia, and he is a California boy, so he was enjoying telling us some of the stories. This is the metro station, and you can see the train going by, but you also see different mammals walking by as the day goes by. One of the things he said is this was actually inspired by the Matterhorn. I know that's, you look at it and go, that doesn't make any sense at all. The glass on the windows are kind of the frosted glass, like when you're going up the hill climb for Matterhorn and you see the abominable snowman running through.
Yeah.
Well, we have the Yeti. You have the abominable snowman.
Same thing.
Argument. So the glass is, you see it, but it's such high quality, and because of the frosted glass effect, it looks very real, and it's just so cool. You can sit there and watch it for quite a while, and the train goes by every few minutes. And then the next one is one that I had to ask everybody who the fan of Epcot was. Because and these are posters outside of the Zootopia PD and also the museum, which is next to Zootopia PD. So this would be outside of the museum where they show different educational films. And this, of course, is Living with the Land. And I just stopped, and it was me and 3 other people that cracked up at this, because that's an Epcot reference, and you have to know. I mean, even Epcot fans nowadays wouldn't go, "Oh, Living with the Land, I get that." It's one of those, like, I had to crack up. There's also one I didn't send you the picture of, but it is Trader Lamb's.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just a replica type poster of Trader Sam's from California. And that's because Dustin, the lead Imagineer, actually would sit at Trader Sam's at Disneyland and create ideas for this area.
Well, I enjoyed the little door with the 33 on it.
Yes, and that wasn't... it's funny, over there, their Club 33, you can actually join on their app. Like, I don't know the prices. I didn't go that far into it, but yeah, and on the entrance signs, they have the 33 logo. So their Club 33 is not something that isn't talked about. It is very public. But that photo you just showed, Rebecca, was the apartment building that Judy moves into when she first moved to Zootopia. And up on the door, up on the upper level, there's a little sign, and translates to "do not howl," because if you howl in Zootopia, you could get a howling going around. So they have a speaker, and if you go up there and you howl, it can start a howling throughout the entire land.
Like a little, like a Twilight bark.
Yes, exactly. And opening day, while everybody's trying to do their massive photo ops around there, I would walk up in the middle of everything and just start this stupid howl. Awesome. And it would go, and then I turn around and I had this entire audience all clapping for me because I was howling and starting this effect.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Just like at Disney World.
Exactly. They clap at me because I'm stupid. Yes. One of the other fun things is this is the popsicle sipper. Where we just have straws. This actually, you have to it has suction. So if you want something out of it, it won't leak, but you have to definitely work to get the soda out, which is quite entertaining when you're trying to do it while walking and doing other things. The photo you're just showing was where Zootopia Comes Alive happens. And that's the show that involves the puppets in the land.
And I'm guessing And I'm guessing that's the show that Nathaniel's referencing here when he says, watch the ride through and the little show of the characters here on the channel. So I'll share that. But thanks for checking that out, Nathaniel. We hope others will as well.
Yeah, this is kind of sums up Zootopia. It has the different Sahara Square, and then to the right is Tundra Town, and everything in between is the jungle area. And, that is where the windows all change. The Sahara Square Fire Department, during one of the shows that I was walking and I saw, because the shows may have some type of schedule, but when I was there, they were very random. So I sadly didn't get to see, I only saw 2, but the one that I saw when I was filming at one point, an elephant's trunk comes out of the fire department and sneezes quite often. So everybody gets wet from the water or snot.
Maybe you caught a cold from the elephant sneezing.
That could be it. So there are great little Easter eggs throughout the entire land. In the lower right-hand corner is this is a fun one, because on the left side, you can see the barber's pole, and that's where they shear the sheep. And in there, they actually have how to shear sheep, how to do all this. And then when they shear the sheep, there's an area where they put all the wool, and then it goes up and it goes into the next room, the small window on the other side. And that is a tailor. So they create their own clothing right there. So, everything, as with Zootopia, everything is recycled. Everything is for the environment. It is about the world we live in and how to treat others.
So be sure to check out the videos we have on this channel, because this is a static image you're looking at. And there's actually there's a lot of kinetic imagery and stuff within the land that you miss by just looking at a singular image. So
yeah, I think I sent you a picture of Mr. Big and Frou-Frou and the polar bear.
Yes,
that is one of the shows, and it is Frou-Frou talking to the audience, and then the polar bear walks out holding Mr. Big, and the polar bear starts moving around while Mr. Big is talking to Frou-Frou. And it, while it is way up in the windows, it is still just so impressive to see. It's something that sadly we'll never see in the US. Just the labor I feel for this is astronomical, but it is an amazing show.
Serious question. You said the labor, they're not animatronics?
No, those are all puppets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
nice.
And in this image that Jeremiah has of the bus, you can see the station kind of off in the background to give you just some kind of perspective on where you are within the themed area.
Yeah, right behind the taxi, that's actually like the town square. And that's where most of the pictures are of the skyline. And that was one of the other things. The skyline there is one of the first things WDI has had to do. And they had to research how to make the skyline work, look proper. The above the Gazelle poster, that is all LED screens. So it's just like you're in New York, and advertisements, including for Skechers, because Skechers is a sponsor for Shanghai Disneyland.
Okay.
The Skechers shows up, and it's all in theme to Zootopia.
Wow. It's such a neat and interesting area. I don't know that I'm ever going to see it, so I appreciate all the footage and images that you've brought. I know that you are a fan of Shanghai Disneyland in general.
Yes.
So you got to check out some of the wintertime fun while you were there.
Yes, the Frostival. This is their cavalcade, which is almost bigger than a normal parade in any of the U.S. parks. And if there is one thing that these people love, it is Duffy and Friends. So the parade goes down, has Duffy and Friends, has Zootopia, has The Incredibles, has one other one that I can't think of off the top of my head. And
I like that Mickey and Minnie have literally been upstaged by Duffy.
Oh, they are. Mickey and Minnie are popular, but so when I went in 2016, this park, just like when DCA opened, had so much unique park merchandise. There were so many things that I wanted to buy then, but it's like, I can't take it back. So this time I actually took an extra suitcase, like, okay, I'm going to want to get this. I'm going to want to get this. I had our PR representative from Walt Disney World send me a message going, "Hey, can you get me this? Can you get me this?" I had people like, "Oh, can you get me this?" Every single store had Duffy and Friends. I had to fight to find a Shanghai Disneyland keychain alone.
Wow.
They had a couple of shirts, couple of sweatshirts, but I would walk in Adventure Isle, which has some of the details and great attractions like soaring over the horizon and the mountain that you climb through. Nothing. No unique merchandise, and that's what everybody is like. Oh, I want the Crocosaur, which is the giant crocodile from the river ride. Nope. I walked into that shop, and that was all actually Chippendale. So they still do love Chippendale and Fab Five, but
so it sounds like what you're saying is you said you didn't see any opening day merchandise for Zootopia. It sounds like what they needed to have had was like a shirt of Duffy shaking hands with Judy Hopps with like a Shanghai Disneyland castle in the background to be kind of like, welcome to the park.
And that's just like with Luke experience in Hong Kong. Duffy and Friends are hugely popular over there. This is just one of my favorite photos. It's looking down Mickey Avenue. You can see Sven and Kristoff in their ice sculpture forms, and they also had Anna, Elsa, and Olaf at the front of the park. But the parade doesn't go down Mickey Avenue. It goes around the castle. It's a massive parade route. So Mickey Avenue itself is almost like DCA used to be, where it's that just like little shop area before they made it Buena Vista Street.
You talk so lovingly about Shanghai Disneyland. What is it? Why does it connect? Because you've been to all the parks, and I know you're I know you're a super fan. But what is it about this park that seems to connect with you differently?
For some reason, this park, I think it goes back to, it's the exact opposite of Disneyland. Disneyland is designed to be the smallest park because it's what it was, and it's so tight and everything is right there. Shanghai, you can walk paths and not run into an attraction in almost the entire time in land. I think I was talking to Chris from TDR Explorer, and he said he timed from the entrance of the park to the time he got to Zootopia was 25 minutes walking. Where any other park, even Magic Kingdom, which is a massive park, you can get to from the entrance to the back area in like 15 minutes.
A special shout out to Geo and checking us out from the boardwalk. Hope you're having a wonderful time at Walt Disney World. I've been having fun following you on Twitter.
Yeah, Geo is definitely having some fun. I know I've seen him get up very early. Hopefully I'll be able to connect with him at some point tomorrow and say hi. But the park is just beautiful. They did such a good job. And one of the things that goes back to when this park was first announced, they went and designed it with feng shui. So it put you at peace. There are pictures, and I think I shared a picture on our Twitter of the land when you're the opening day looking back, and you just can't see anything other than people. And that was how it was in a lot of cases, especially their fireworks. Their fireworks take up in front of the castle, and it's massive. But really, there wasn't a time where I ever felt like I do here for New Year's or Disneyland on a busy day where you're stressed because everybody's so around you. I mean, it may also, be the fact that I definitely was there were 3 other very tall people, and they were all from Disney or visiting there. So, and that's, they definitely have some taller folks over in Shanghai, but
that's why they were clapping for you, Jeremiah.
Yes.
That's tall.
Wow. Look at the silly Caucasian English speaking guy not knowing what he's doing. But earlier today, I was trying to edit the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction, which I'll be putting up as soon as we're done with this on our YouTube channel. And it's just I just watched it, and it was like, this was such an amazing attraction. I was lucky that I made the mistake of filming as I was walking through the queue, so I could edit in some of that, and it's not just the ride over and over and over again.
Wow. Very, very cool. Okay, so we have lots of articles on Laughing Place. We'll put a link below to our Shanghai Disneyland tag, and then we also have a lot of videos here on YouTube, ride throughs, walk arounds, just various kind of take you to that park, because we know, it's not necessarily just a simple drive away. So we'll help with that. Also, by the way, if you are considering traveling there, we do have an article what you need to know, what to expect if you're going. So be sure to check that out as well. And as always, our friends at Mouse Fan Travel, if you're looking into traveling to any Disney destination, they are uniquely prepared to help you with your journey.
Yeah, this is not a park that you just decide you want to go to. I mean, you have to start months in advance to get a Chinese visa, and then the ticket system, the hotels, a quick sum up. In order to get my ticket, I had to take my passport to the main entrance. They had to scan it, they had to put it in, and then they would print out a ticket. So that's, something here. Oh, you just buy your ticket, you show your phone, it's fine. No, there it's step after step after step, all because of safety. And again, you do not want to go into a foreign country without knowing what you're doing, and definitely Becky and everybody at Mouse Fan Travel can help you out with that.
So we've got a lot of content here on the site. You can learn more about the new Zootopia. And with that, DB, I'm going to hand over the mantle of host to you.
So Zootopia, kind of a treat at the end of 2023. Usually things get quiet at the end of the year, but this year, maybe, I don't know if it's cultural something, but this year they decided, hey, let's open up a brand new land right in the midst of the holiday season. So,
well, it is also so warm over there in Shanghai. It was a perfect time to open it. I was walking around in t-shirt and shorts.
Wow.
And looking good, man. Love those selfies. So that kind of closed 2023 in the world of Disney theme parks.
He had on ski hats and multiple layers. The poor little Florida boy freezing his behind.
I may not be wearing a Roosevelt shirt right now, but I would so love to thank them for the beanies, because they were the warmest thing and they kept me alive at times.
I get cold too, Roosevelt, just in case you're wondering. All right, so that kind of closed out 2023 in the world of Disney theme parks, and here we are talking about the world 2023, and we're not going to try to do like a year in review because there's just way too much. So I just thought we could each just kind of give some of our own personal highlights, whether they're, this really cool thing opened in 2023, or I got to do this really cool thing, or this really tiny thing that kind of went under the radar really spoke to me. So we're just kind of have a general fun discussion about that, since Jeremiah just spent 29 minutes talking and he is under the weather. We'll give him a little break. Why don't we start with Mike Celestino? Where do you want to start in your 2023, Mike?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, and honestly, one of my favorite days at the park this past year was being there for closing day of Splash Mountain at Disneyland. Just the atmosphere, kind of bittersweet day, knowing that the ride was going away, but everybody kind of accepting also that it was, and celebrating it at the same time, and running into Tony Baxter, kind of seeing him all over the place, and getting to do the ride a few times that day, and just in general, marking the end of one era and the beginning of a new one. I had a blast that day. It was a really fond memory being there for that.
It's always cool when it's kind of sad sometimes, but to be there when an attraction actually closes is a pretty cool event. So I'm glad you got to do that. Rebecca, where do you want to start?
Well, this year was wild. I mean, we started off the year with the opening of Toontown pretty much, right? Because that was kind of in that January. And then I know, I went over and I was looking and I was just like, wow, a lot happened this year, because we had the Rogers the Musical. First, we had the teaser, right? We had that casting call, and there was all this speculation. Is it going to be? Is it? I know Jeremiah nailed it right out the box. but there was some
Fun
hope that
fights.
maybe it was going to be a Hercules thing because some of it fit like people thought Muses, but it turned out to be this Andrew sister dynamic for Rogers the Musical. Magic Happens came back. My favorite Mike Celestino moment was when he became a weatherman. And in March, we had that snowfall, unbelievable snowfall. What did it end up being called, Mike?
I think people said it was grapple.
Yeah, something we never heard about. I remember Celestino. My favorite moments at Disneyland are Celestino related. So we've got the snowfall moment. We have the discovery of the return of the Indiana Jones pinball machine in Adventureland.
Gone again. It's
Oh,
gone
no
again.
way. Really?
Yeah.
That's just not okay. And then the other one was when Toontown did open, it gave us one of the highlights of the year as far as I'm concerned. So can I share that here?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. I thought I was ready to showcase that. I thought I had given myself enough time to
The chair spins around.
and I made the
Fire.
mistake. I made the mistake of trying it myself. I got really sick. So here we have a supercut. Check it out. Watching that. Just watching. No, I can't.
Sure.
'Cause watching it that little bit, I got really, really sick doing that.
Jeremiah upped the
Yeah,
game with that
that's
one with
great.
his ending. I still haven't been to New Toontown. I need to do that. Every LPer that goes to New Toontown has to do that. And I don't just mean people that work here. If you watch this channel, go record yourself doing that. Continue then.
So yeah, so it was a lot of, for me it was a lot of watching Celestino have fun at the parks. But when I went, I was trying food because with Tiana's Palace, they had this new menu coming to New Orleans Square area, some beignets. So got to go down and sample some of that. So that was pretty fun. And over at San Francisco, lots of new food items heading to that area, and just seeing that whole area come to life over there by the Pacific Wharf. I can't wait. Gio teased. He put on his Facebook a picture of him on the teacups. I'm eager to see Gio's spin that wheel video. So, and then the other thing I'd forgotten, you guys, was we didn't just have that unexpected snow early in March, but in April, Disneyland closed early because of that hurricane. Was it Hillary?
Oh, yeah.
Hurricane Hillary. So we had two
Disneyland.
weather-related incidents this year that were just like, Disneyland, what?
And I was there that day for Chalk Walk in the
Oh,
morning.
that's right. Totally forgot.
Well, I'm gonna start kind of where Mike was. He was there to watch the ending of Splash Mountain at Disneyland, and two of the coolest things I got to do this year revolved around Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is coming up next year, less than a year away, presumably, because this year's almost over, and they promised 2024. So the
December
coolest thing
31st, 2024.
I know. I'm not making an announcement. I'm just assuming. So yeah, I got to go to New Orleans in June. I'm not even sure when I went at this point, but I got to go to New Orleans for a little press thing they did for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, where they took some media to kind of show what the Imagineers were doing down there in efforts to create a really authentic experience. We got to do a ride on the bayou with all the alligators and stuff, and go to some art museums and hear from some people who grew up in New Orleans, see a lot of just some incredible experiences. It's the type of event that I don't think Disney Parks has ever done before, where they take a group to a location to kind of try to immerse that group in what the Imagineers go through. And I'm glad they picked this year and this attraction to try it, because I got to go. So I got to go to New Orleans for the first time, meet a bunch of cool people from Disney and other media people, and hang out with them in a way I never otherwise would have. And we talked extensively about that at the time, if you want to go check that out. And I wrote a lot as a result, but it got me really even more excited for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Just seeing, whenever you see the effort that goes into something like this, not just the effort, technologically, but really immersing themselves in the background. Oh yeah, and of course the food and meeting the person or the family that inspired Tiana herself, and eating at the restaurant that inspired Tiana's Palace and all that. Just an amazing experience, and gives me a lot of hope for Tiana's Bayou Adventure come whenever it opens next year. And kind of next to that, I also got to go to Essence Fest this year, which is a non-Disney event for Black culture, but Disney has a presence there, and so I got to go cover the Disney presence. A lot of that this year was Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It's a really cool experience I got to do. I'm really excited about. How about you, Jeremiah?
For me, Shanghai was definitely, it's hard to top that. Going to an opening of the new land and just being in the new park. But really one of my favorite memories, and Doobie, I feel like I'm being possessed by you right now, was I started off the year doing the Pixar Day at Sea. And that was just an amazing cruise. It was a 7-day, which I hadn't really done. Not only that, I did it by myself. And on that, I made some brand new friends who are definitely family with me now. So it was great to do that. One of my favorite memories of the year, though, has to be seeing Magic Happens for the first time, because that parade just, if there is something that could be Disney at its core, it would be that parade. And then shortly thereafter, I went over to Disneyland Paris and saw their street show, which also happens to have some amazing music that I'm not going to try to pronounce right now because it'll just not sound good. So hearing two of the best Disney songs back to back, they now take up residency in my head forever. And, it's special just to have the type of music. But other fun things are like seeing all you guys at Tony's wedding. I love that day. That was definitely a good day for me. That was a helpful day for me, guys. So thank you.
That was fun. But I mean, over it on your coast, Jeremiah, this year, let's see, we got the Tron coaster, right? That was this year. The beautiful lighting, the beautiful lighting package on Spaceship Earth.
Yeah.
When you were hearing, I mean, that's one of those things where when we were kind of hearing about these, I didn't expect it to be quite as beautiful as it has been. I can't remember if that came late in, I think that came like really late in 2022,
yeah,
but then you started to see kind of them using it more thematically that next year. And so just I don't know, but Tron coaster is way fun. And
I forgot Tron coaster. I can't believe that.
It is, right? I'm not misremembering. I'm like,
there are so many things that happened this year. It is very hard to put them all together.
So I wanted to
go ahead, DB. Sorry.
So I wanted to bring Mike back in again, because one of my things I remember, even though it wasn't there, the Fantasmic Fire was a huge story this year. And I know Mike was actually
there
at the park that day.
Disneyland on that day.
And because of your experience there, what is the movie? Asteroid City? Is that the movie you went to see?
No, we saw Ari Aster's Beau is Afraid.
Oh, Beau is Afraid. Okay. So Mike was at the park for the Fantasmic Fire, but as a result, whenever I think of the Fantasmic Fire, I just think of Mike going to the movies.
We had the option. We were like, well, we could stay for Fantasmic, or we could go see that movie. And I managed to give it. And my wife will never forgive me for making her sit through that 3-hour film.
Somehow, I guess your wife has a long list of those, Mike.
You're probably right.
So what else is on your list, Mike?
Oh, well, I really enjoyed the Treehouse, getting to be there for the media preview of that and opening day when that finally opened. I think they did a really wonderful job with that. Adds so much atmosphere to Adventureland. Just having, as the Imagineers said that morning, like just having the walls down around it adds so much. Even if that line the line to get into the treehouse didn't last more than a week. It's pretty much a walk on now. I mean, I haven't
It
gone
should
during the holidays as much, but I think just having it there and having that kinetic energy of the water wheel spinning and the pulley system kind of bringing the water up to the top, it looks so cool and it adds so much to the park in that area. Really, really like that.
Mike, one
And then
before
kind
you.
of-
I know, Mike, you get to do. Okay. You do a lot of stuff even aside from Disneyland. So is there just one, you cover a lot of stuff in Southern California. Is there anything, maybe a nod for Universal or any place that kind of sticks out for you from this year?
Yeah. I got to go to Universal Orlando just kind of actually for Tony's wedding. We spent a few days. We spent one full day in the parks at Universal Orlando and really had a blast. We were there, the park opened I think at 8 a.m. and we were there all day in both parks, and we did Halloween Horror Nights that night. So it was like 8 a.m. until after 1 a.m, I think, that we were there nonstop at Universal Orlando, and that was really a memorable day for me. Getting to do let's see, the Velocicoaster for the first time, and Hagrid's for the first time, and revisiting some favorites at Universal like E.T. That sticks out in my mind. And yeah, I always enjoy Knott's Berry Farm here. They're, Knott's Scary Farm, always great. They had a great new maze called Room something or other.
13?
Room 13. Yes, that was it. Thank you, Jeremiah. Always terrific to check those out. And going down to Legoland for the tree lighting ceremony for the holiday season was fun. Just a blast all around.
And Jeremiah got to go out quite a few times to Kennedy, as I recall, over the course of.
I was going to say, like, I love Legoland here. It's always a blast. SeaWorld and Universal are also amazing, but Kennedy, I've gone out. I went out twice in 1 week for different events out there, and while it may be a little bit of a drive, it's such a night. I would say Kennedy is almost like the Knott's of Florida. It's underappreciated. It's someplace to go. It's not a thrill park. It's more of, you learn, you have fun, you see some great things. The Peanut show that just opened this year that I finally saw a few weeks ago, the tours, the history, and as they're moving forward, especially with the Artemis program and everything else, it is alive out there, and they keep adding things almost weekly. Like I said, I went out twice in 1 week. So if you're in the Florida area, Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, it's a fun place to go. Head out there. It also is very convenient if you're going out to jump on a Disney cruise. It's just down the road from there. So, hey, do both.
And they're doing more of these like after hour events. They're really capitalizing on the beauty of the area, as well as the setting and the unique access that they have. So they're doing these things where they have like high-end chefs come and serve dishes. And then they also have astronauts there. So you can, have a little bit of a conversation with an astronaut while you're eating exquisite food in the rocket launch, in the rocket garden with these beautifully illuminated pieces of history or replicas of history, depending. So just the way that they're stepping up their entertainment coupled with the education is just amazing, and I cannot wait to be in its backyard again. I am so jealous of Jeremiah every time those media invites come around.
They just opened up the Blue Origins capsule experience, which you sit in an actual capsule and you have a VR experience of the liftoff and the landing, and it is an actual camera that was on the capsule during a liftoff, so everything you're seeing is real. It was one of those. It's not something you would ever experience in any of the Disney parks anymore. Back in the day of the NASA exhibit, it could have been something, but this is a small 5-person capsule. You get to sit in there, watch it a couple of minutes, and it's just educational. It's edutainment.
Speaking of which, if you're in Orlando right now, tomorrow night, I want to say around 8 o'clock is when the next SpaceX launch is currently scheduled. So check out the Twitter. There's various like Space Coast launches related. If you look up Space Coast launch, then you'll know when kind of that next rocket launch will be happening, and you can see them so beautifully. A lot of these you can see so beautifully from the Orlando theme parks if you are there, especially in the evening. Just look east. Look east, and it always takes longer than you expect for that rocket to appear over the horizon. So don't panic if you don't see it. You can watch the launch on your phone typically, right? YouTube, you can be checking out the launch, but give it a few moments because it has to rise up pretty high before you're able to see it out on the horizon. But just look east. So if you're in Magic Kingdom, towards Tomorrowland, Epcot, towards Mission Space, Studios towards the main entrance, and Animal Kingdom towards Everest. And that's the general region of where you'll see those launches happening. By the way, those are all the destinations. I have seen launches over each of those. I made a point when I lived in Orlando to position myself so that I could have been in each park and witnessed a shuttle launch back when that was the program happening at Kennedy. So.
I've been watching a TV show lately, and I don't know what's up with Where Kennedy, but they're like 20 years behind the time. We should be on Mars by now.
Doopy's been watching For All Mankind. And Jeremiah's upset because we are years behind, and Jeremiah's sad because when it first started, he was telling all of us we need to watch it, and we ignored it.
Shut up during the pandemic about For All Mankind. It is one of the best television shows ever, and they're on the new season. And like, I watched that on the flight back from Shanghai. It was like on my phone going, oh, by the way, I got to shop my cool phone case.
Oh wow, that is pretty cool.
And it's his Power Run.
I got two biggies to mention. They're not necessarily new for 2023, but they were new to me. The Disney Wish cruise ship got our first cruise. They launched 2022 late, so it was almost new. My family did the Disney Wish. It was absolutely amazing, in my opinion. That's now my favorite cruise ship. Can't wait to do it again, whenever that may be, or at least get on the Disney Treasure, which I know is going to be very similar. And Jeremiah got to learn a lot about that this year, which Jeremiah learning about that was high on my list as well. And the other thing we got to do this year, the first time doing an Adventures by Disney, we did Wyoming, which was this most spectacular vacation of my life. What an experience. I'm so glad I finally got to learn why Adventures by Disney is so special firsthand. I know Jeremiah's done about 42 of them, but it was just an amazing experience, both the Disney aspect of it and the Wyoming aspect of it. And if you ever get a chance to do an Adventure by Disney, if you're wondering if it's worth the extra money it would cost to do such a thing, I think it probably is. It's just an amazing way to see whatever location you're going to. So yay ABD, yay Disney Wish, yay Mouse Fan Travel for taking care of you on all of those, taking care of us on all those trips, and happy to take care of you as well if you book through them. Anybody else got something they want to mention for 2023?
I got to throw out, I was lucky enough because of my great friends. I was able to take one last trip on the Halcyon, and that, right. Mike and I had an amazing experience early on. Mike will live in infamy as his character, but I got to go on it and just enjoy it. And to this day, there is nothing that will ever compare to the Halcyon and the experience on the Galactic Star Cruiser. May it rest in peace. Hopefully not in pieces, because maybe at some point they can put it all back together.
That reminds me of another great moment. Mike learned about the closing of the Halcyon live on, I guess, Parks Talk, right? And that was something. Yeah, that was a moment.
That I still can't get over it. Every once in a while, I don't know about you, Mike, but every once in a while I still go, I can't believe they just, I'm going to describe it in layman's terms. I can't believe they just kind of tossed their hands up and went, oh, well, and moved on. Like,
yeah.
Whenever we discussed, it was clear that it wasn't kind of scoring as far as occupancy in the way that you could believe it could move forward. But I don't think any of us expected it to just be totally shuttered.
Yeah, but that goes for a lot of things with the Disney company lately. that
Missing TV shows.
yeah, I don't completely understand the financial reasons behind it, but I guess it adds up in the long run.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad that stuff disappears in that way.
Mhm.
But
Disney Plus,
yeah,
may it rest in peace. Oh,
But
sorry.
right.
it's
Everything
so
on it.
wild. Yeah, no, it's so wild. And meantime, we've got the Electrical Parade revisioned as a drone show over in, Paris coming up at the beginning of the year, right? Isn't that what we're about to have happening
Mhm.
over in Paris?
That
So
is
some things just never
two
totally
weeks
go
away, almost exactly.
It's so wild. But yeah, I was looking this with the Christmas season. I'm in some groups of people who did like the whole journey, like Mike did, creating costumes and characters and everything for their journey. And some of the Christmas gifts that were kind of focused on that whole realm or celebrating the experiences of their what happened when they were on Star Cruiser just really got to me, especially with it being gone and it having had such a short-lived time. So,
And Jeremiah got to go to my friends at the Heroes of the Halcyon podcast, put together a big party at Disney Springs. Can you talk a little bit about that, Jeremiah?
Yeah, it was the second muster meetup, which, muster meetups are at the beginning of the cruise. This one was kind of just the wrap up of it. And it was at Planet Hollywood out on their Stargazer lounge area. And it was just, you could feel the love. And I'm a diehard Adventurers Club fan from back in the day. So this was very similar to that feel of everybody gathered to not bid it adieu, but to celebrate it. Some of the actors were there and they were treated as they should be, as the stars. They're having the HellsCon next spring out here, which I'm looking forward to. There's been talk of me hosting one of the panels. When they said that, I was just so excited.
That'd be sweet.
But yeah, it's something that, Mike and I definitely we'll always have the bond of being able to be on that ship. But I feel like everybody that's been on that ship has a bond, and to this day, that name seems to pop up almost every other day of somebody talking about that. And I've been 15 years removed from the Adventurers Club closure, so I know that it sticks around forever. Thankfully, they didn't have a salute or something that everybody will say to the poor actors every day of their lives.
Tabuite. Let's. I want to also recommend, since you mentioned Adventurers Club, I listened to your appearance on Heroes of the Halcyon on my commute the other day, and I was fascinated. I always wished I could have gone and checked out the Adventurers Club. I never got to see it before it closed, but if you want to learn more about that, the Heroes of the Halcyon podcast did a whole episode with one of the Imagineers, and Jeremiah was a guest as a fan, and one of the performers from the Adventurers Club as well. I think he also a performer on the Halcyon as well.
Yes, I believe there are 4 actors that took place both in the Adventurers Club and on the Halcyon, and Robbie was one of them. And it was great to talk to him. What you listened to, Mike, I believe was about an hour of almost 3-hour show.
Wow.
Because the Imagineer loved his stories, as older Imagineers do. But it was a lot of fun. And, you've been on there talking about stuff. And as much as I think the Heroes of the Halcyon is a great group, I feel like they're just going to grow and expand to be something that'll encompass more of the Disney life. So get on board with them right now, because they're just going to continue to grow and be a podcast. And, much like Lou and us, they're just starting, so they'll grow bigger and bigger.
I know things about that I can't say right now.
That secret. Wow.
There was a lot of
on that-
teasing that happened this year. though, I think, because we had like we had what Groot, like a baby Groot play test that happened over, and we had the droids kind of just marching through Galaxy's Edge that like one time, and then they had that character on stage. That character on stage with Josh D'Amaro over at Zootopia stuff. So
has that animatronic not appeared in Zootopia?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Is there plans for that?
No clue. That what we saw was specifically designed just for that presentation.
I see.
I said on the morning show, like, if that were to come out, it would have to be like Lucky or something or the Muppets Mobile Lab, where it is something that is blocked off by cast members to make sure the guests don't rush it, because it is just amazing. But it's a small piece that would draw a large crowd, so I don't think that it would be worth throwing it out there right away. Maybe we'll see something more next year at the D23 Ultimate Fan Experience.
And we have a lot of hotel expansions going on. We had that new tower open at the Disneyland Hotel. We have currently developing, the Polynesian expansion, and Walt Disney World, the Fort Wilderness cabins redo happening over at Walt Disney World. So, a lot of kind of that shifts in the design of what Disney hotel housing looks like. Pixar Place Hotel about to open around the corner. So, we've got that going on. Downtown Disney went through a major redesign over the course of the past year. I feel like it's pretty well, in that almost that complete dynamic. I wonder if they'll have like a specific like ribbon cutting at some point for it, as we currently have the is it Paseo, that center portion is under development. So it's just exciting things ahead, but it's weird because right now there isn't really anything. I mean, Tiana is coming, but it's not a new attraction. It's an old attraction with a new story. So it's interesting kind of going into the next year.
Oh, we completely forgot about Luminous. Like,
no, exactly.
Luminous
All the
just
Epcot
opened.
stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All the Epcot stuff just opened. Yep.
Yeah, Epcot's been in a state of becoming for so long that, there's always been something coming. And now it's pretty much all there. A little bit left, but, the major stuff is there. And Tron finally opened after 14 years of construction. And, Tiana's Bayou Adventure is finally going to arrive. And as Rebecca said, it's not a completely new attraction. So it really almost feels like, at least for us here in North America, like, what's next? What's coming? And not only is there not something, imminently opening, there's not even anything major under construction in North America.
Little Mermaid, musical adventure.
So in North America, we've had some hints about stuff going on in Animal Kingdom, but
that's true.
It's very rare when we haven't had this is coming and construction is underway, or attractions are closing in preparation for it.
And there's the e-ticket at Avengers Campus that has now been announced twice and not started building it yet.
Not building and not a date. I mean, I felt like until we get a date or construction, the announcement's nice, but we need a date or a date, meaning even as simple as 2027 or whatever. But a date or construction, or it's just another announcement that could go away, like the Magic Kingdom Theater that we got at one of those D23 expos long ago. So, all right, I'm going to shut this down. Thanks for joining us all year long, everybody. I suspect we're not going to do a show next week because Monday is New Year's Day, and we're normally a Monday show. But check us out, I guess, January 8th at 4 p.m. Pacific time, and every Monday as we do Disney Parks Talk Live. What's up, Jeremiah? Math problems?
Yep. Time travel.
Maybe somewhere.
I'm shocked that we got through this hour without you mentioning or showing my amazing dance from the Wish.
That's because the real life end of year reality of where Doobie is at kept him from show prep. I was
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, sorry about that. I do love that you're both wearing yellow today. All right. Are you playing that from this brand? Did you move it over to this brand?
I was on the other brand. It doesn't change you out. It only changes me out.
Really?
There's way more. It's way more complicated than that, but nobody watches.
We have Slack for that.
It to you later.
Okay. I'm sorry, because I'm out of here as soon as we click in the screen, so I got to find out now. Okay. Not important right now, rather. Thanks, Mike and Jeremiah, for all you guys do all year long. Appreciate it. I know it's hard work going to theme parks all the time, taking pictures, experiencing stuff, trying over the place. I don't know how you guys do it. So thank you so much for the sacrifices you make day in and day out for Laughing Place. And yeah, we'll continue it on next year and beyond. Let's hope.
Can't wait.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us.